Silk Road. Back in 2011, a hidden website quietly appeared on the Darknet and gave people a way to shop like it was eBay, except the listings were drugs, fake IDs, and hacking services. The platform was called Silk Road, and it quickly grew into the first global underground marketplace powered entirely by Bitcoin. What shocked investigators wasn't just the products, but how ordinary the experience felt. Star ratings for sellers, buyer protection through escrow, and even customer service. Behind it all was Ross Ulbricht, using the alias Dread Pirate Roberts. For 2 years, Silk Road thrived while authorities scrambled to understand cryptocurrency and the anonymity of Tor. When the FBI finally caught Ulbricht in a San Francisco library in 2013, they seized millions in Bitcoin, but the genie was already out of the bottle. Silk Road had lit the fuse for a new era of anonymous commerce that would keep law enforcement busy for the next decade.
Alphabay. Alphabay was like the Amazon of the Darknet, reaching its peak in 2017 with hundreds of thousands of users and listings. It wasn't just about drugs. You could find hacking tools, stolen data, and malware for sale. Alphabay grew so quickly because it focused on usability. Its interface was clean, its escrow system gave buyers a sense of safety, and it accepted multiple cryptocurrencies. But its size made it a prime target for investigators. In July 2017, an international police operation took it down, and the founder, Alexander Kazis, was arrested in Thailand. His arrest revealed just how much money was flowing through Alphabay, hundreds of millions of dollars. For many, Alphabay symbolized the high point of darknet markets before law enforcement pressures started dismantling them one by one. Hydra. Instead of shipping contraband through the mail like Western markets, Hydra perfected a very different system. A buyer would pay in cryptocurrency, then receive GPS coordinates to a secret stash in a public park, under a bench, or taped behind a sign. This method made postal inspections irrelevant and allowed Hydra to dominate the Russian-speaking Darknet. Starting in 2015, it didn't just sell drugs. It became the backbone of money laundering operations across Eastern Europe. Billions of dollars flowed through Hydra, making it more than just a market. It was an ecosystem of crime. Its reach was so extensive that by 2022, governments across Europe and the US collaborated to take it down, seizing servers and wallets. For years, Hydra showed how local adaptations, like dead drop delivery, could keep a darknet empire alive long after others had collapsed.
Dream Market. For years, Dream Market was the place darknet shoppers ended up when bigger markets went offline. Launched in 2013, it wasn't flashy, but it earned loyalty because it lasted longer than most. Vendors sold the usual mix of drugs, stolen data, and counterfeit goods. But what set Dream apart was its strong encryption and focus on security. Even as law enforcement dismantled competitors, Dream stayed up, quietly running until 2019. Many users described it as the refugee camp of darknet markets, where displaced buyers and sellers regrouped. When it finally shut down, rumors spread that it was an exit scam or a law enforcement sting, but no one could say for sure. That uncertainty became its final legacy, proving that in the darknet, longevity doesn't guarantee trust, and even a reliable market can vanish overnight without warning.
Hansa Market. Underneath its slick surface, Hansa was a trap. The market grew quickly because it promised features others lacked: better search, easier browsing, and stronger vendor controls. Buyers thought they had found a safe alternative after Silk Road's collapse. What they didn't know was that Dutch police had secretly taken over the site in 2017. For an entire month, law enforcement quietly logged every message, every transaction, every user detail without tipping anyone off. Then, once Alphabay was taken down, authorities revealed the sting, catching thousands of users who had fled to Hansa thinking it was safe. It became one of the most successful darknet busts ever, showing that sometimes the biggest danger isn't a scammer or rival gang. It's the police running the store themselves.
Wall Street Market. Operating out of Germany, Wall Street Market built a reputation as one of the largest European darknet hubs. It gained traction between 2016 and 2019 with tens of thousands of listings, from drugs to malware packages. What made Wall Street Market stand out was its professionalism. It looked more like a legitimate e-commerce platform than an underground site. But in 2019, the admins pulled a classic darknet move. They tried to run an exit scam, freezing vendor accounts and preparing to disappear with millions in Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Their mistake was sloppy execution. German authorities tracked them down, arrested the operators, and shut the market for good. Wall Street market promised safety and sophistication, yet in the end, the sleek digital storefront turned into nothing more than a baited trap, where the only ones who cashed out weren't the vendors or buyers, but the police themselves. Agora. When Silk Road went down, Agora became the heavyweight champion of darknet markets. It wasn't just another copycat, it grew into the largest marketplace of its era between 2013 and 2015. Buyers trusted its uptime and vendors flocked to it because transactions actually went through without constant glitches. But Agora also lived under the constant shadow of surveillance. By 2015, whispers of a possible law enforcement infiltration got louder. The admins didn't wait to find out. They voluntarily shut the site down to protect users. That decision made Agora legendary. Most darknet markets vanish in chaos, but Agora left by choice, and in doing so, it earned a strange kind of respect. For many, it represented the peak of darknet professionalism before paranoia and crackdowns shattered that fragile trust. Valhalla. Also known as Silkkitie, Valhalla was a Finnish-run darknet market that lasted longer than most of its competitors. It launched in 2013 and built a strong following in Northern Europe, especially because it supported Monero, a privacy coin that made tracking transactions far harder than Bitcoin. That feature alone drew in users who cared less about flashy design and more about staying hidden. For years, Valhalla quietly operated while bigger names like Alphabay and Dream Market stole headlines. But in 2019, Finnish police, working with Europol, finally took it down. The shutdown wasn't as dramatic as Alphabay's or Hansa's, but they seized Valhalla's servers and Onion domain, ending its 6-year run. At the time, Monero lost one of its earliest darknet footholds, with transaction volumes briefly dipping before other markets later picked up support for the coin. Empire Market. For a while, Empire Market felt unstoppable. Launching in 2018, it quickly rose to dominance by scooping up users from dead or busted sites. Vendors praised its interface, buyers loved its wide selection, and it ran smoothly until it didn't. In 2020, Empire started wobbling. Withdrawals slowed, rumors spread, and then came the inevitable, an exit scam. The admins vanished, taking with them what experts estimate to be tens of millions in Bitcoin. Unlike police takedowns, this one stung differently. Users weren't betrayed by law enforcement. They were betrayed by the very people they had trusted to run the market. In the aftermath, blockchain analysts tracked the vanished Bitcoin across tumblers and mixers, but the full haul was never recovered, leaving Empire's exit scam ranked among the largest financial disappearances in darknet history. Nucleus Market. In its prime, Nucleus was buzzing with activity. It came online in 2014 and quickly grew into one of the fastest rising markets, offering everything from drugs to hacking tools. What helped it thrive was reliability. Servers were stable, support was active, and transactions actually cleared. By early 2016, Nucleus had racked up tens of thousands of listings. Then, without warning, it disappeared. No arrests, no official explanation, just gone. Some said it was an exit scam. Others believed the admins got scared and pulled the plug. Researchers estimated that vendors and buyers collectively lost millions in escrowed Bitcoin. Done watching? If you like this video, hit subscribe for more cool stuff.